Hi, today I want to tell you about a way I have figured out for creating your own customized GPX routes. One problem with the GPX files is that whenever you have a GPX file, it usually doesn't start where you are. So I think there is a way to use the open source tools to create your own custom route that will be somewhat personalized, because again, by default the OSMR will create routes that are shortest path from one point to another. But of course, when you go running or you go just to go for a walk, you're normally not interested in the shortest route. You want to know the route that's most enjoyable, most pleasant, most safe. So here I'll show you a setup that you can create on your own machine and basically generate those personalized routes. So before we begin, one thing we should have is we're going to use Docker, and we are going to use we're going to create a couple of OSRM containers. So first we're going to have the default OSRM that is based on the public OSRM map, so you can get those online. I think there are several different mirrors. This is one of them where you can get that file. Just get your own PBF, and optionally sometimes you may need to because they will give you the country, most likely you get a country PBF file, so you want to compress that to a smaller one. To extract to your city, because again, if it's a huge file of several gigabytes, then it will be very slow to do any processing on it. I'll share the scripts that you can do for you to do the extraction for a certain area in the description. But for now, let's assume that you have your CT PBF file and you're going to create the OSRM backend based on it. That will be a start. So we're gonna launch the Docker. We're gonna launch Docker. Just let it start. And okay, once you have the image, public OSM image, the next step for you is to get those GPX files that you will use to create your own personalized routes. So this is this part is again, depends on where you are. So if you're in a city where you have never been before, you may use either Strava or Garmin Connect to get the GPX files. I'm going to use Garmin Connect in this case. So I have a route here, and I have a course. And I can download the GPX file for it, add it to my directory here. Again, I will share the source code for this, so you can navigate this later. So now we have a course. So now once you have this bunch of GPX files in a folder, one thing you want to do right away is basically make a map of it, so that you see what are those GPX files that you edit. And that's pretty easy. You can have a Python script that just do pyplot and creates reads the GPX file in a folder and plots each of them on the map. So now you have a bunch of maps like this, so which represent the routes that you know are good or you think might be good. So depending, this could be a route that you run before, or it can be one of the courses that you got from Garmin. Either way, you have a set of GPX files and you create the map. You map them out to see how they look, confirm this is good. Now the next step you will do is actually you want to, before you can use these GPX files together with OSRM, you need to convert your GPX files to the format that OSRM understands. So the first step, there could be a better way to do that, but the way I have come up with and the way that worked for me is basically first you take a GPX file and you go through each of the points and you extract. You go through each of the points in that GPX file and you extract you query the nearest OSM node based on it. So what this allows you to do essentially is convert your raw GPX file into a format that OSRM understands, right? So we're gonna do just that. We are gonna say make nodes. So this will go through these GPX files in our folder and hopefully create a CSV file with basically nodes. So this lat long is the location from a GPX file, and these are the two nodes that we have from that OSM. Now you have nodes. Now you have, okay, this takes a while. This takes a while to run because there are a lot of points. The next step is to create the OSM map itself. So again, simple script that allows you to do that. So you're essentially going to iterate over those CSV files that you just created, and you're going to take each node, and you're going to take the location of that node, and you're going to assign it. And you're going to create ways based on those nodes, right? So, and you'll go create some tags, but tags don't matter as much. I mean, actually, in this case, you create a special tag, which is called a custom GPX route, which identifies your nodes and differentiate your ways of GPX-based ways from the ways every other way in the OSM map, right? So that will allow you to prioritize those routes. So let's go ahead and do it. This step also may take a while. Make OSM. Okay, great. So now we have our OSM map, which we call custom OSM, which essentially very simple. It doesn't contain a public OSM. It only contains nodes from those GPX files that you have added here in the raw folder. So our next step, we want to merge this OSM map with the public OSM map, because the reason we want to do the merge, because while your custom OSM map is great, it doesn't contain all of the routes. It only contains those selected routes, right? So, but now we assume that you want to create routes from any location in the city, and you obviously want to integrate your custom map with the public map. And there is a tool for that. It's called Osmosis, and basically it reads the PBF file, the one you're running Docker on now, and and also reads your XML file and merges them. So it's very simple. So you say make merge. Okay, so now you have it merged, and you want to restart your Docker, which is okay. You have a second Docker container, which is running on that custom map, right? A GPX OSM PBF, right? So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna query that those two OSRM instances and see what we get. So first sanity check. I'm gonna query both the custom node and the. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick 2 points on our map, start and stop, and we're gonna create a GPX file. And just to for the sake of understanding, like how does this actually compare, we're gonna query both the OSM instance that's running a custom OSRM, and we're gonna query the default OSRM, which is using the public OSM file. So we want to see that is there a difference between the two OSM maps. And we have a bunch of utility functions that just parse the GPX, plot it, and queries OSM. So let's see. So we see what we get. We see that the shortest path is 7 kilometers and the custom is 10.1 kilometers, right? So we see the custom route. We see the shortest route is in blue, and we see the custom route in red, right? So if we go back and look at our maps, we see that actually, it's following one of the routes that we had in a GPX file. So let's pick another point. Let's pick another point and do a similar thing. So again, we see that the custom route is longer, which is fine. You see that the shortest route goes here. Again, it's picking the route around the highway, which nobody really runs in reality, and then it picks the one that I have usually run using the GPX file. Let's pick another one. And here we see that, well, the shortest route is indeed the shortest route, but the longest route is somewhat better. It's using one of the courses we had here, I think. Yeah, one of the courses here. So it tries to strongly prefer the course along the park here, which results in a lot very, like, you could say, inefficient routing, but at the same time it takes account of the preferences that you had. So then we can just scale that, and we can basically define a bunch of places in a JSON file. We have a JSON file with the coordinates that we had. By the way, ChatGPT or Grok can actually get you the GPX file, the JSON file with the coordinates and of your favorite city and your sites that you want to see. And now we basically do the same. We're just going to do the iterate routes. We're going to open the our places JSON, and we have a starting point which we pick on the map, and we're just going to iterate it. And hopefully it's going to work. Going to iterate over it and plot GPX at the same time. So this is one of the tempo. Then we have another one, another map. Then we have another one. Then we have another one. We have another one, and one more, and so on. So yeah, this is the way you can create your own custom GPX files that start with any location of your choosing, and importantly take into account the routes that you know to be good. I think it's especially useful in places where you don't necessarily know the place as well, and but you have the coordinates of places you want to visit, and at the same time you have the coordinate where you're going to start, and you can have you get a bunch of GPX files that represent places where people do running, and with some setup you can actually get fairly good recommendations. And I tried running that route, and it actually makes a lot of sense, and it's much more pleasant compared to the shortest route, or to the you may not the amazing and the beautiful thing about this is that you can have it first of all, it scales to any place. Now if you go to another city, you can hopefully have an OSM map of it, and you can pick and choose your locations, and you can navigate with some confidence. And it kind of doesn't matter where you are as long as you have an OSM map. Granted, the OSM maps are not always accurate, and there are ways that are missing on them, but generally you can have a very good routing that is not shortest routing, and that is somehow reflect your preference, right? So it's very otherwise it's very difficult to kind of have a control over which routes are generated. And the other part is that you don't have to get involved too much into the details of how the OSRM works. To do that, one thing that worth highlighting, and I haven't mentioned, is that there is a custom. The reason this custom routing works is because of this. We do have to create a custom profile, and the custom profile have a handler specific to our custom routes, and it looking at the name tag, and it wants to see the custom GPX route tag, and then it basically increases the speed at which you traverse that route, making it preferred by OSRM. It's not an optimal way because this messes up your time to travel, but this is a quick hacky way of getting this to work. And if you look at the way you generate OSM file, you could create OSM file. You can see that this is the tag. This is the XML tag that we are adding for those ways. Yeah. So this is important to make it work. And of course, you depend a lot on the accuracy or on the errors on the GPX files. So if your GPX files contain errors, this solution doesn't align your routes, your final routes, to the streets. So you will have errors in the routes, but usually those are kind of fine, I would say. They don't affect you as much. You have a general idea of where you can run, and yeah, enjoy. I hope you find it useful, and please pay attention to the roads where you run, and don't spend too much time looking into their directions. Please be aware of your surroundings whenever you go running, and yeah, have a great run.